This is Ms. Elmhorst with the help video for the Math STAAR study session. We're going to do the edpuzzle. So as you go through it, we're going to be checking to see what is the process that we have worked on in sixth grade. So looking at the relationship and what's going on in the tables, we have data set 1 and data set 2, and we're going to compare them. So we know that X is your input, Y is your output. So that's the first thing we're going to look at. And then we start looking down here about additive and multiplicative. So here we're going to start with 0, 0 to 0, input to output, nothing is added, so we know this one is multiplying. 1 times 4, 2 times 4, 3 times 4. So you go here, input to output. Multiplying cannot multiply 0 times anything to get 4, so this one is going to be plus 4. So data set 2 is plus 4, data set 1 is times 4. Both are additive? No. Both are multiplicative? No. So then you check each one down below. Set A is multiplicative, which Y is 4 times the X. That's additive. So set A is added. Let's see. So that's correct, and that is correct. So set A is additive. No, it is not. Set 1 is additive. Set 2 is multiplicative. It is not. Okay. Go ahead and select your answer. All right. Which expression is equivalent to? So in sixth grade, we learned that fractions mean division. So this division means the top, 12 plus 6. Everything on the top together is divided by what is on bottom. The top is divided by the bottom. So you cannot separate them because both of them are being divided. So you're going to put them in parentheses. Emmeline earned $6 for each hour of work. Each means we are multiplying every hour 6.5 times the hours. How much will she earn for working 5.5 hours? So this keyword means you're multiplying 6.5 times the hours. We're just going to set it up here. 5 times 5. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. When you're done multiplying this 5, you cross it out, come down below, cross out the one there. 5 times 5, and it's the same digit, so it's 5, 2, 3. Count your decimal place values, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then place it down below. Okay. Number 4, based on the trapezoid, this is a keyword here, so we're talking about area. 8 centimeters and 12 centimeters, and the height is h centimeters. Which equation can be used? So once you see trapezoid, you're going to look up the trapezoid formula. 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. And you write it down. Now you take and substitute the information in there. Base 1 and base 2. It says both of the bases are going to be 8 and 12. So instead of base 1, you're going to put in 8 and then 12, and then the height is h. And you should be able to make your selection from there. Use the ruler provided to measure the dimensions of the triangle to the nearest 1/4 inch. Okay, using the ruler provided, you're going to measure the base and the height of this triangle, the ones that form a right angle. So it's going to be 1.5 times 1.25. So we need the area of a triangle. Go to your formula chart. Area equals 1/2 base times height for the triangle. And we're going to fill in the formula. 1/2. We have 1.5 times 1.25. So we're going to set this up over here. 1.5 times 1.25 times 1.5. 5 times 5. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. If you're done multiplying the 5, cross out the spot down below. And now we're going to multiply 1 times 5, 2, and 1. And then you count your decimal place values. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And so this is going to be 1.875. However, that is not the answer just yet. That is just multiplying base times height. We still need to divide that by 2. Okay, so 2 goes into 1 0 times. Then we look at 18. 2 goes into 18 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18. Bring the 7 down. 2 goes into 7 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. I have 1 left over. And then bring the 5 down. 2 goes into 15 7 times. And 7 times 2 is 14. And we go one more decimal place value. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So the area is 0.9375. So we know it's not the first two. Now we need to figure out, is it 15 out of 16 or 9 out of 16? Well, 9 divided by 16 and then 15 divided by 16. Before you divide that, what we could do is this 0.9 is very close to 1. So if we estimate using decimals, if you estimate 9 out of 16 is close to 0.5 and 15 out of 16 is close to 1. So you should be able to pick your answer from there. Okay. Next one, which expression is equivalent? First things first, we need to take a look at this 1/4 times 4. So this is 1/4 multiplied by 4. This is actually using integers and fractions, but in order to multiply this, we put the 4 over 1 and then multiply straight across. 1 times 4 and 4 times 1, which becomes 1. So if we change this to W minus 1. During a 90-minute school play, the main character was on stage 80% of the time. What amount of time in minutes was the main character on stage? So as soon as we see this 80%, we need to remember percent goes over 100. So we have 80 over 100, and then we compare that to 90 minutes. It didn't say what the total school play was, but it says 90 minutes. So during a 90-minute school play. All right, so that is the total. Okay, And the question is, how much time was that? Here's your percent, 80%. Just we got that. So you look up and down. Is there a factor? Or is there a factor here? Well, from 100 down to 90, we could actually use the factor of 0.9. So 100 times 0.9 would be 90. And we could use this, 80 times 0.9. The backup option is using cross products. You can cross multiply and then divide by 100 would give you the same answer. But using factors would probably be the easiest way to go. So you got 80 times 0.9. So 9 times 0, 9 times 8, 72. Move your decimal over one decimal place value. Which statement says 96 multiplied by 11 eighths is true? We have 96 times 11.8. So there's a concept behind this one. 11 eighths is greater than 1. So after you multiply, then the product should be greater. You can multiply to see if it's true, but the concept is just noticing that if you multiply by a number that's greater than 1, then your product is going to be greater. Multiplying is going to make it greater. A right triangle and an isosceles triangle are graphed. Both are located. They have crossing areas where both of them come together. So we're looking at that. So which coordinates represent a point that is inside the shaded area? So we're looking at this area right here. So we're going to graph x and then y. So here you have negative 1.5, and then positive, and then positive 4.5. So you're going to go up here. So that one is not inside the graph. Here you have positive 1.5 for x. Going to go over positive and then down negative. Okay, so this is point A, this is point B. And then we have positive x, which is going to go all over here to 4.5, and then negative y, which is going to go down negative 1.5. That's point C. And we have negative 4.5, going to go negative, and then positive 1.5. So that is point D. So by the time you take a look at that, you can see where it is located. Yeah, number 10. So the wingspan of an adult is going to be 7 feet. And what is that going to be in inches? So look up your STAAR reference chart. You're going to see that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So we're going to use that in using the unit conversion. So 1 foot, 12 inches. And then we change that to, we got 7 feet. You use your factors. How do you go from 1 to 7? 1 to 7, 1 foot to 7 feet. You're going to multiply by a factor of 7. And so you're going to multiply this by a factor of 7 to find the inches. You got 12 times 7. Number 11, we're looking at equivalent expressions. So we look over here, we have 10 plus, which you have. And then we need to understand, what is this 5 to the power of 4? 5 to the power of 4. which means 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 to the power of 4 does not mean just 5 times 4. And here, this is times 4, all of this times 4. And that's not what this is saying. It is only saying 5 to the power of 4. So we need something that says 5 times 5 times 5. Well, if we look at B, parentheses would be done first, and this is 15. And then we put the exponent back on the outside. Parentheses, exponents, using order of operations, it would be 15 to the power of 4, which means 15 times 15 times 15 times 15. And this is not equal to 5 times 5 times 5. So it looks like none of them are equivalent expressions. Okay. Students at 2 high schools are asked to plans of graduation. There's 300 total students. The bar graph displays the results of 300 students at Johnson High School, and this is Henderson High School. Let's go down to the question, which statement about the results of Henderson and Johnson? Okay, so frequency is given. So the number of students who selected armed forces or other is greater than Henderson. Okay, so we go here to Henderson. So we have 48 and 42. So that's going to be 90 students. So we go over here. This is 15 and 15 together is 30 students. So the number of students who selected armed forces or other is greater for Henderson than for Johnson. And that looks to be true. So this is 90 and this is 30. So we can double check and see college is associated with the mode. For each high school. So college, I do not believe you can find the mode. The number of students who selected work is greater for Johnson High School. Oh, these are the percentages. So I need to double check this here. So the percentages, that's 30 out of 100. In order to get 300, we're multiplying by 3. So that's 90 out of 300. Okay, that makes more sense. So this is actually equal. 90 and 90. So this one is 30%, which is 30% of 300, which is 90. The number of students who selected work is greater for Johnson High School than for Henderson High School. Work. So everything down here needs to be multiplied by 3. So this is 90. It's 120. This is 45 and 45. So this one is changing the percent into actual numbers. It does look like college is associated with the mode for each one. So it is not greater for Johnson High School. This one's 90, this one's 96. There is no mode associated with either school. So I believe the mode, college, is the most popular, the most selected for each one. I believe G would be the correct answer. So which graph represents y equals 3.5 times x? So on this one, an input-output table would be helpful. X and y. So if we start with 0, 1, and 2 for x, that would help us out. So remember, this is using the equation x is times 3.5. So this would be 0, and then 3.5, and then we would have 7. So we look for these points, 0, 0. So we know it's not this one or this one. And then we have 2, 7. Over 2, up 7. Over 2, up 7. And we have 1 and 3.5. 1 and then 3.5. So I believe you would be able to make a selection at this point.